Okay, so I figured I gotta remember where I gotta look. There. Okay, I see you now. Um, so I thought I would just kind of record a quick little video on my thoughts immediately after going and seeing Joker in 2019. Um, this is a sculpture that I was recently gifted. I just really like it, so I just want to sit next to it while I talk about this. That's the only reason why it's right there. Um, it's a fucking big ass sculpture too. I love it. I'm in love with it. Anyway, so I just got done watching Joker. Um, my first impressions are the acting is of course phenomenal. Joaquin Phoenix is an incredible actor. Pretty much everybody in it is really good. They do a really good job, and that is the best part of the movie, is the acting. Um, Everything else is very competently done. I don't really have any major complaints about it. It's a much slower movie than you might be expecting. Even if you expect that it's going to be a slow movie, it's probably even slower than that. But it's one of those movies that uses scenes of like shock very sparingly, but very powerfully. So like when something is supposed to make you like, oh, like it does. It's very, very good at what it does. Unfortunately, and this is even in the case of when that thing is predictable. It still manages to evoke a very powerful like, whoa, wow. But that's the problem that I have with the movie is it's very predictable. Very, 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 very predictable. Um, I knew right away pretty much everything that was going to happen in the movie. Damn near everything. Um, Maybe it's because I'm very familiar with the source material, but like even that wouldn't necessarily make the case, which is why I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about in the second half of this video, which is about the Joker character itself and how it is represented. Um, but I found it extremely predictable, and so I also found it kind of boring at times. Like, we there's the term exploit is used a lot in cinema, and like exploit movies um, is not very appropriate for this, but using the term exploit, I think I can accurately depict like some of my problems too with like the inclusion of certain scenes. Like it feels at times that the director was exploiting the sake that Joker is crazy to just add in things that really didn't need to be there. Just little things that I picked up on, and then I listened to Critical's Moist Meter review on the drive home, and like his one criticism was the thing that actually like really took me out of the movie, and I agree with him on that. Where he and I disagree is I was not nearly as entertained as he was. The power of the acting was not enough to lift me away from how predictable and just kind of plotting it was. For him, he was enchanted by it. For me, I was just like, this is good, but I kind of knew it was going to be great anyway. The rest of it's just okay, you know. Um, so would I recommend it? Yeah, I guess I'd recommend it if you want to see something different from a comic book movie. It's very good. Um, do I think that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is as good as Heath Ledger's? Yes and no. Yes, because there's a lot of power behind the performance, and no, only because this is an origin story. This is proto Joker, and we don't really get to see him in full force. I guess you could ask the question: would this be like a good prequel to him then becoming Heath Ledger's Joker? And I don't think so. Maybe, but it would take some creative writing to kind of like really convince me that that could be the direction it could go. I'm not thoroughly convinced on it. But here's the thing. The Joker character, I keep hearing reviews and like hearing people talking about the Joker character, and they're like, well, he's just the best written villain in comic books. Which one? Which one are you talking about? The original Joker was a criminal mastermind. You know, he was the clown prince of crime. And whereas yes, he was crazy and he had the whole Joker motif, his main motivation was that he was a criminal. He wanted to get money, accumulate power in the underworld, things like that. He was a cartoony character. People forget that like comic books prior to the 80s, um, prior to Watchmen, it's really that was the mark of when things started to change for comic books. Prior to Watchmen coming out, comic books weren't very serious, and if they were serious, they weren't very dark. There just wasn't a whole lot of darkness being evoked in a comic book universe. Um, so Joker, prior to that flip, was a fucking cartoon character. Like nobody took him serious. Nobody gave a shit about the Joker. I mean, like he was colorful, and it was probably really easy to draw him, and that's why Bob Kane and all the rest of the dudes involved in early Batman development liked him as a villain. Now, you can kind of still see that in Jack Nicholson's performance. He's crazy, but he's a criminal kingpin. And what he does has a lot of intention behind it. He's scheming. And that's a good word for it, too. That's actually one of the reasons why, as much as a lot of people hate Suicide Squad, and I hate Suicide Squad too, you know, it's a terrible movie. But I actually didn't have a problem with Jared Leto's Joker because it was going back to the criminal mastermind type of Joker, and I thought that was interesting because it was different. And I'm like, I want to see, what this is going to be like. So I actually really didn't mind those scenes. I kind of wish I had been able to see more of that performance to see if it would have been something fleshed out better with a better director. I probably would have liked it. But after the big flip, the Joker became less about criminal activity and like accumulating power and money and became about anarchy. Became about mayhem. Became very Fight Club, Project Mayhem kind of shit, you know? And he was dangerously insane. The Killing Joke is an incredible run for Batman Comics, and it has some of the most powerful writing for the Joker ever. Really, really good stuff. That's the kind of stuff that like led towards the development of the Joker going to the direction he has been in the comics, depending on which comic you're reading, and also led towards the birth of the Heath Ledger Joker. Heath Ledger Joker is a maniac. And the really brilliant thing, and one of the reasons why I think the Heath Ledger Joker is still the best one so far, is because it maintains something that they've always done in the comic books. Nobody knows who the fuck the Joker is. Like, there's not even tags on his clothing. Pocket lint and knives is all he carries. Nobody knows who he is. It doesn't matter who he is. It doesn't matter where he comes from. He's a force of nature. He's pure anarchy, pure violence, murder, mayhem, craziness. Now, I like that, but I'm okay with this iteration of the Joker having a backstory. The backstory is very powerful, very good. I like where they brought it from, even though I personally prefer a Joker that has an ambiguous origin. It's definitely my favorite, but, you know, that's all right. But, well, if they do anything more with this iteration of the Joker, what I hope they do is rather than, you know, the Joker's main motivation be crime or be anarchy, I want to see Joaquin Phoenix's Joker become about murder. I want like the Hannibal Lecter version of the Joker. I think that that would be a fascinating way to evolve the character from where they built him off of this. Now, I don't think that they're gonna do another movie with this version of the Joker, though. Not just because I don't really know if anybody's gonna want to like pick it up because of it stylistically might not match very well, but also, which I mean, maybe they will. They could probably match him up with Robert Pattinson as Batman, which I actually don't have a problem with. But that's because I've seen Robert Pattinson pull out amazing performances when he's not in Twilight. Um, but also, Joaquin Phoenix, kind of historically speaking, doesn't really do recurring roles. He's really hard to get into a role. Like he's very choosy with the stuff that he does. So I don't know, unless somebody could really really sell it to him, I think he would probably be the most contingent factor that would keep that character, that version of the Joker, appearing in film again. So yeah, I don't really have a rating system or anything, but like if you like slower stuff, powerful, evocative imagery, very good, strong performances, but otherwise, I thought it was very predictable. Go see it. You know, I caught it in a matinee, and I feel like I very much got my money's worth. See you later.